Hey, what's going on, guys? Just a quick video talking about some things that I recently discovered. I thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd pass it on to you guys. So for this video, basically, you're just gonna be looking at the cell phone because that's what we're talking about: cell phones in cars and using cell phones in vehicles while you're driving. Now, how this whole story got started was I was driving somewhere with my wife. We got behind a vehicle, it was like an SUV, and we were in the slow lane. And they were doing the speed limit, but they kept veering off, to the side of the road like they're in the lane. And they would just kind of, until they hit the rumble strips, and they would jerk back into the middle and slowly fade off and back to the middle. Then there was a car here in the slow lane, and it came up on the car, and it kind of passed it. No blinker, and then as soon as I got in front of it, it cut it off real quick. So I'm thinking, what the hell? Just, someone driving jerky, didn't know if they were drunk, didn't know if they were, doing something, they're distracted. So I ended up passing them, and of course it was someone on their cell phone. Happened to be like a middle-aged woman, and she was on her cell phone. It looked like she was texting away. So obviously a distraction to the road. Now, a lot of people know that in certain states, in certain areas, it is illegal to text and drive. But I was talking about this with my wife, and I actually got into the discussion about hands-free cell phone use in cars. And she was saying that, a lot of these cars, like even our Chrysler, I have a Chrysler 200, it's a 2013, and they have a built-in system so you can use your phone hands-free. And I said to her, I'm like, I'll bet you somewhere it's still illegal to have hands-free use. And my wife was arguing with me saying, no, come on, they make cars like this. Obviously, they're, going with the law, and they're not making something that's illegal. So we got into this whole kind of discussion about it, and a back and forth of I think it's illegal some places for hands-free use, and she said, nah, I think it's cool everywhere. And so I said, all right, we're gonna look it up. Okay, we're gonna resolve this discussion, and we're gonna see who's right about this. So I looked it up, and I was actually very surprised to find that there is such a varying degree of laws pertaining to cell phone use in vehicles. So what I did was I found a really good site that shows all 50 states, United States, obviously, and it has the breakdown of the distraction laws. I think there's sites like distraction.com or distraction.gov, something like that. But it's a very easy site to use to figure out. You can click on the state you live in, and you can see the specific laws pertaining to using cell phones in the car. And what I found was, generally speaking, there's specific laws against bus drivers from using cell phones, even hands-free, which is very interesting. Then, of course, what I also found was interesting that I did not know is that in certain states, you have to be a certain age. Even though you have a driver's license, and most places you get a driver's license at like 17 years old, many states say they have to be like 18 or 21 in order to use hands-free cell phone use in cars. Just really fascinating. I really didn't know. I think generally speaking, people have an idea of like, yeah, you're not supposed to text and drive, you can get a ticket for that. But there are specific laws, and they do vary. In some places, you're allowed to use your cell phone. You can text and drive legally. That's okay for some reason. I'm totally against that. But what I also found interesting is that even the hands-free devices are still illegal. And then it kind of brought me to questions like, well, how is a police officer going to give you a ticket for using, a hands-free device? How do you even prove that? If you're driving by and a cop sees you, bop, 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 bop on your phone texting, that's one thing. Then it's an eyewitness. That police officer is an eyewitness to you doing something illegal, if that's what happens to be a law where you live. But just really interesting. There's laws set in place actually, getting caught doing something illegal, and those laws being enforced is another thing. And I've talked about that before many times. There are laws, but if they're not enforced, what's the point of them even being a law? But texting and driving is a very big deal. In fact, I recently read on a completely different website, there's a different article about how you are more likely to get into an accident texting than you are drunk driving. And this day and age, there are far more deaths caused by cell phone use than there are from drinking and driving. So it is safer to get drunk and go drive around than to use your cell phone. Now, that being said, don't take that as permission to go, drink and drive. You are a completely stupid human being if you do so. I'm completely against drinking and driving, but also texting and driving. I know lots of people can do it because they're skilled enough to, to do that. Don't. You're taking a chance. I don't care how good you are at multitasking and everything else. It's just not good. You shouldn't be texting and driving. I never use my cell phone in the car. As far as physically using it, I do use on occasion the hands-free device where if I'm getting a call I hit the little button. It's built right into the steering wheel. So I'm driving, I'm steering, hit the button on the back. I can accept the call. I talk, it goes through my speaker system, end the call, boom, hit the button again. So I'm never letting go of the wheel. I'm never looking anywhere else than where I'm supposed to be looking. So that I'm comfortable with, but it's still amazing to me that that is illegal in some places. So check out the link I'm going to provide in the description box if you live, of course, in the United States of America, and see what the laws are in your state, and tell me down in the comments if you knew about those laws or if you're surprised by something. One of the things that really interested me was the fact that there's certain age limits for cell phone use. In other words, the state, feels like, hey, you have your license, you can drive, but we don't think that you are capable yet because you're a new driver of multitasking like that, even with hands-free units. Really interesting. So yeah, I just wanted to pass that information on to you. It was a good conversation I had with my wife. I learned some things, and I thought that was interesting enough to make a video about it. So hopefully you did too. So check it out. Post your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and if you learned something new about where you live. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.